What's up, y'all? Um, Jacob Martinez back, owner of Antivillain Clothing Company. Uh, day two of rebuilding my brand, my clothing brand. After doing this for about 2 to 3 weeks, um, there's a lot I have learned, but there's a lot that I did not implement, like I said in my last video. I learned a lot about the t-shirt slash fashion business a little bit, right? I learned how to make a t-shirt. I learned how to put vinyl on a t-shirt. I learned how to cut vinyl. I learned how to take my designs and put them on a heat press. I learned how to upload my stuff, upload my designs to a print on demand place. There's a lot of things I already knew how to do. I knew how to make a website. I knew how to do graphics, obviously. But one thing that I just totally forgot about, and I don't blame myself for it, is marketing. I mean, I do it all day already. And when it's different when you're thinking about building a business, a lot of people do think about marketing last. And I hated that. I hate that. I hate that when business owners do that, because marketing is probably, it's not the first thing, but it is one of the first things that you have to think about. Marketing is the way that you're going to get out there to your clients, where you're going to find your target audience. It's how people are going to be a part of your community, be able to follow you, be able to fall in love with you. I mean, that is an extreme way of saying it, but falling in love with your brand is basically what you want people to do. One thing I do have to get back to is marketing. Period. The reason nobody's going to come to my website is because I'm not marketing it well. And doing this, making content, is one of the things that I'm doing. But the thing that I have to go back to is brand strategy. And the first thing in brand strategy is figuring out my brand DNA. Whatever market you're going to go into, I hope that you have found a gap within that market that you can provide a service or a product to. Otherwise, your brand DNA will be like everybody else's. I mean, I can make t-shirts, right? And the most popular thing right now in the t-shirt industry or the clothing industry is Y2K fonts. Fonts with the old year 2000, fonts, designs with the stars and all of that. And I can make those shirts. Actually, I could design that all day. Doesn't mean I'm going to stick out. No, if the designs are good, people will probably buy them. But but that makes me a t-shirt designer. It doesn't make me a clothing brand owner. The best way for you to try to build a DNA, a brand DNA, is figuring out where you can fill in the gap. Look at a gap within that industry and see, is there a way that you can fit within that gap to make yourself a part of that industry, to add to people's life or add value to people's life? Or see if there's or do the same thing everybody else is doing, but bring a new technology to it, to where it is different than the person on the left and the person on the right. For example, if you want to make pizza, right? Everybody makes pizza. You got a Domino's, you got a Papa John's, you got a Little Caesars, right? They all basically do the same thing. But let's say that you wanted to revolutionize the pizza industry. You got a piece of technology which automatically makes pizzas. And it's a robot that just makes pizzas. And this robot makes pizzas in 2 minutes or 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the toppings. After he makes the pizza, it's heated, it's boxed up, and sent down out to the delivery person. And the delivery person is a drone or a robot on wheels. And that pizza gets to your house in 15 minutes. Heck, it is a dream, but it's your dream, right? You made something that is in your niche. That's something that you're going to build upon. Your brand DNA is going to separate you from everybody else, hopefully. I mean, your brand DNA can be regular. You can just be another pizza place out there that just makes really good pizza. That's your brand DNA. It's okay. And maybe your brand DNA will change later. With that being said, I have to go back to my brand DNA and find it. Antivillains was a company where people embraced their individuality and also leaned into positivity. So that's basically what that was. That was basically my DNA. So from there, I started just designing first. I designed shirts, everything I could, hoodies, all of that. But at the end of the day, I was designing for no one. It was such a broad target audience. I didn't have a specific person or specific genre I was designing for. I was designing for men and women. It was that broad. And anybody could have came to my website and was like, I like that, but it's kind of not my style. Or Antivillains, I don't really understand what that is, so I don't know what I'm gonna wear. And even if I explain it to them, I'm like, okay, that's pretty generic. I don't know if that's me. So I figured out my brand DNA. And bear with me here because this is basically going to be a little bit long, but hopefully I in the future I shrink it down. Antivillain Clothing Company is going to represent gamers in the fashion industry. There's a gap within the fashion industry of gamers. I think there are clothes for gamers, quote unquote clothes for gamers. There's t-shirts, there's merchandise. And my theory is that every gamer plays an archetype in a game that leans towards their personality, or otherwise they wouldn't play it. I think gamers like me have certain characteristics from the characters that they play. For example, I play Destiny 2, which is like an MMO, or I play a lot of different MMOs. Or I play at 2K, right? But if I were going to play an MMO, I would play a tank, right? I would main tank. Tank's characteristics or tank's role in an MMO, in the video game, is basically they're a part of a group of 3 or 4, or maybe more. Tanks are the first ones to go in. And they go in with a sword and shield most of the time. And they go in and they go and look at all the enemies and go in the middle of them and say, I'm here. Come and hit me. I'm going to take all of your brute force. I'm going to take everything you give to me. And I'm going to stay alive because I have that fortitude, right? I have that strength. I have that courage to go in and just take everything that you have, right? That's a tank. Tanks are backed up by healers. That's another archetype. Healers, they're most of the time they're very, we call them squishy, but they get hit once, they get hit twice, they could lose mostly all their health and die pretty quickly. But what makes them powerful is that they heal that tank to stay alive, and they also heal the other characters to stay alive and themselves. They sacrifice their life or sacrifice their energy to make sure everybody else is okay, right? So that gives them heart. That gives them sacrifice. That gives them will. So that's what that archetype brings to the table. Then you have DPS. There's maybe 1 or 2 of them. DPS is basically gives their power, their fighting skills, and they go in and rush to do the most damage to that boss while the tank is holding them there saying, look at me, and the healer's healing all of them. Their characteristic is also can be strength or cunning, right? Strategy. I think those characteristics from each one of those archetypes are in each and every person that plays them. if I was going to say me, yes, I have a lot of courage. Obviously, I've done plenty of businesses and done a lot of things in my life that I needed a lot of courage for. Fortitude. I've been through a lot in my life, right? Trying to figure out and maneuver different things. I've had ups, I've had downs, but every time I got knocked down, I got right back up. And then strength, right? So those characters that I play relate to me. And I think everybody in this world has a story to tell like that. And a lot of them probably don't want to wear their story exactly on them. But they'll feel comfortable wearing it through the character they portray or the character that they love to wear. So that's a long way of saying what my DNA is. And soon I will shorten that to a 15-second elevator speech. But I know I can base my brand DNA off that. I think it gives me good direction of where I should go. I can make clothing for those different archetypes. And it's not just that. I can do it for people who play basketball games, people who play racing games. Everybody has different types of characters or positions or something that they love to play within video games. This is going to make me do research. This is going to make me go have conversations with people. So I can go and figure out, how can you relate to your character that you play? Or why is this your favorite car to race with? I think I can make clothes to reflect that. If I was going to make a t-shirt for myself, which I'm going to take you guys through that journey as a tank, I would have a tank shirt. And it doesn't have to say tank, but it would have a sword and shield and have courage. Right? And that's a simple one. On the back, probably a quote. Not only that, I can go and take different inspirations from different video games and make full garments from them. I can make a Destiny-inspired shirt and pants and make it look like streetwear, right? I can do the same thing with 64-bit or 16-bit video games. Make a Contra type shirt using the color palettes that they had, using the art style that it had. So that's the direction I'm going. That is my brand DNA, and that is where I'm going. So next, I kind of already have it, but the next thing I'm about to do is figure out my target audience. So that's going to be my next video. Let me know what you guys feel. Let me know what you guys think about my idea. Do me a favor. Comment. Let me know if you need help with your brand DNA. I will answer your questions. I will ask the right questions to try to break down your brand DNA. I do this for a living. I do marketing for a living. And I help a whole bunch of companies do this for them. It's time for me to do it for myself. But also, it is time for me to help people. I'm not going to put this behind a paywall, at least this part. I want to help people out. It also gives me inspiration watching other people grow. So put in the comments if you have brand DNA, if this helped you in any way. Tell me what your brand DNA is. Tell me if you liked my brand DNA. Like it if you can. Share it with the next person that you think needs help. But I thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I know these are going to be some long videos, but I got to get this stuff out. And the only way for me to be hold myself accountable to keep going is for you guys to watch me and me to share my story with you guys. So thank you guys for watching again. I appreciate you. Peace.